Hi, I'm Victor. In this video, I'm going to cover a semiconductor company, a small one that is in Taiwan by the name of HIMX. And this is a company I discovered about a year ago. And it was after having successfully invested in several semiconductor companies and had a good run. I owned Taiwan Semiconductor for several years and sold at a nice gain. I also bought and sold Broadcom. I bought Broadcom, owned that for some time, and then sold Broadcom at a nice gain. In both of those investments, I achieved the target price that I was looking for. They became, in my opinion, priced at a premium, and I therefore decided to just cash in my gain and move forward. I was looking for a good semiconductor company that I felt was undervalued, and I think I may have found it in HIMX. As I look at investments, I look for three things. I want a discount on the stock price so I could see my investment go up in value over time. I want to know that the company is very well run and the performance is excellent. And last, I want to know that it's a good time to buy. So let me take a look at HIMX in detail and return to that scorecard later in this video. So as you likely have read in business news, semiconductor chips are in shortage. Car makers can't get enough of them. Computer makers can't get enough of them. Consumer product goods companies can't get enough of them. And HIMX makes, chips for these markets, automotive. They have products going into TVs and cameras, tablets, and so forth. So they're in the right place, that they're satisfying incredibly high demand in the marketplace currently. Looking at the HIMX stock over the last 5 years, it's nothing anything great. They're up 35%, which isn't a great return over 5 years. But currently, all stocks are down. So I would put that caveat out there. In general, I believe this is a stock that has been flying under the radar and now is going to begin to get recognized quite a bit. So let me look at the 1 year chart. You can see that over 1 year, they're down 15%. A lot of that is in 2022, and 2022 has been tough for just about every stock except for energy. So that's the stock over the last year. I think it's allowed me to enter into the stock at good prices on these dips. And I more recently bought on this dip. They had an earnings call. Not sure what people were reading. I saw the earnings. I thought they were very favorable. And then the stock popped like a day after. It may be just, people misunderstood the earnings report. And but I decided to invest right at this dip. So I'm glad I did so. I believe that HIMX is very discounted, to the point where you're getting 132% discount. This stock could double very quickly, in my opinion. Let me tell you why. I like to look at free cash flows that a company produces over 20 years, try to do a trend of how quickly those cash flows will grow over time. I use two growth rates in this case. One growth rate of 7% in years 2, 3, 4, and 5. Historically, they've grown at 14%. More recently in Q1, they grew 31%. So a nice conservative growth rate for the first 5 years. And then longer term, 4%. That's a number that I'm comfortable with and I believe is conservative. So looking at the 20-year cash flows, I would take those cash flows, do a net present value calculation using a discount rate of 11%, nice high discount rate, nice conservative number. And I believe that the company is worth 4.3 billion, but their market cap currently is about 1.6 billion. So it leaves a lot of room for upside. On a per share basis, I believe the stock price is worth more like $25 per share, but they're trading at $10.75 per share currently. So it leaves a lot of room for an investor to make money on the upside, especially if the chip shortage continues. And companies like HIMX, which is a self-run foundry in Taiwan, just have excessive demand to fill. They'll have good pricing power and be able to have good profits, good growth, and good cash flow. The performance of HIMX as a company has been really good. They've grown 14% over the last 5 years. Just looking at 2021, their free cash flow is $381 million, just great free cash flow. And it's 24% free cash flow yield on their revenue. Just great free cash flow. They pay a nice dividend of 3%. So you're looking at a nice growth company with a nice dividend. And they worked around and through COVID. They're in Taiwan, but when COVID hit, they had to deal with, extreme supply chain issues, lockdowns. A lot, what happens in China certainly affects them because they make their chips and then send them over to China to be put into products, and then they get sent around the world. So that really, it was a curveball that was sent to them, and they really dealt with that well. In 2022, in Q1, they grew. If you just compared Q1 2022 to Q1 2021, they grew 31%. Awesome growth. Free cash flow is 69%. There is high demand for chips. I mean, if you turn on business news, you don't go very long before they start talking about the chip shortage. And the COVID cases in China will affect them. There's a lockdown in China, and it affects because the production in China has been slowed down, if not stalled. Until that resumes, it will affect HIMX's ability to ship their product to the factories that will need that product to be put into products themselves. So my outlook for the company, they will continue to be very profitable. They'll continue to grow very fast because they are a semiconductor foundry. So they have the means of production for a product that with very high demand. They'll be profitable, pay dividends, and give me very high upside potential. So I like this investment, and I'm going to buy more shares. They're not exactly like TSM, but kind of like TSM. I think TSM was very recognized 5 years ago when I started investing in TSM, but they just took off. TSM just really launched. And I think it's a similar story with HIMX. I'm hoping that they too get recognized, and pretty soon their stock price is just going up and up. So as you can tell, HIMX is really favorable in my opinion. They provide a nice discount on the investment. I believe their stock price can more than double. The company is very well operated and performing great. So that is a big check mark. And right now it's a good time. HIMX, as well as a lot of tech companies, high growth companies, probably newer companies that are less known, have just been punished. Their stock prices are way down in 2022. And here's an opportunity to buy into a company that is going to really grow. So I'm going to keep buying shares. So this video is for entertainment purposes only. I hope you found it interesting. I like to share my experience in investing. I'm an investor in HIMX, but in no way am I recommending you buy the stock or you buy any other stock or security. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it. If you could do me a favor and like my video, that helps my channel by moving it up on the algorithm for YouTube. Also, if you like this content, would like to see more, consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I create a new video. Good luck investing in 2022.